What's going on, guys? Adam here with Paper Beats Rock, and we got some big stuff going on today. I'm really excited. I mean, we've got some new tools here and parts for the shop. That's just awesome. I ended up getting myself a gantry crane for the shop. That way I can do some heavy lifting of engines or whatever I'll just need. This is the Harbor Freight This is the Harbor Freight model. You know, it's like $7.99, whatever. So we got one of those. We'll show you all about that, putting that together. But the big thing that I'm super excited about is we're moving on to our next project. And I've hinted at this on the TikTok and on the Facebook, but let me tell you guys here in the YouTube channels. Okay, I can put my sunglasses down. It's bright out here. We just picked ourselves up the engine for a new platform. Actually, let me show you what our new platform is. Okay, all right. We've got this 1986 Corvette. All right, I bought this last summer, and since then we kind of stripped it down a little bit. I mean, this was a complete car when I first bought it, all right, but we took the hood off, and I was going to make a vet cart out of it. So hood's off, front clipped, whole front bumpers off and everything like that. The roof's off it, the back windows out of it. Here we were just stripping it down. We've got like the center consoles kind of like stripped out a little bit. You know, she's part way through the stripping down on it. All right, engine runs real good and everything like that. The 5.9, I think it's like an L98. All right, aluminum head. That's a good engine, you know, for it and everything. But we're going to be putting something else in this for the power plant. And just the other day we ran down to California because I got a smoking deal on this right now. All right, this is a 5.9 12 valve Cummins, y'all. And it's got a P pump, and we're gonna take that Cummins and we're gonna stick it into the vet. All right, that's the goal. I mean, y'all gonna freaking lose your mind when you hear what kind of great deal I got on this thing. This thing only cost me 500 bucks. Well, okay, not just $500, but that's all I had to pay out in cash was $500. All right, the guy listed it up for $1,000. Okay, and then he's like, hey man, I do like the, you know, barter a little bit, so what do you got to trade? So I was just like, well, you know, what are you looking for? He's like, well, I need a kind of a new bumper for my truck and everything, like my Ram. And I was like, well, you're in luck, I've got a bumper. So we now don't have a bumper on the front of the truck here. All right, but for the bumper and $500, we picked up this Cummins here. Now, I don't know a whole lot about the history on this thing. Looking at the rack that it's on, this looks like in the area that it came from down in California, I believe this engine was used for an irrigation pump, all right, to move a bunch of water. Just the stand that it's on kind of looks like this was a permanent mounted stand. Had its battery here, ran the configuration that's set up with. So it's not intercoolered, it is turboed, but that's okay. It's all right. We can change those bits out and everything like that. We can strip this thing down, get the stuff that we need that we're not going to use off of it. The stand's nice for right now, just standing the motor up and placing it around. This is the real reason why I bought the gantry crane, so that we can actually get it up and out of the bed of the truck. So, but guys, $500 for a 5.9 12 valve Cummins with a P pump. All right, so my son does have a couple questions on whether the 12 valve here is going to be too big for the vet. All right, and there are some concerns with this, Seth. I mean, the engine, this thing dry is probably around like 1,000 pounds, okay? The freaking 350, that's the 350, yeah, the 350 that's in this thing is probably around like 500 pounds, all right? So we've got a 500 pound weight difference right there. Although we did remove the whole front clip of the hood and everything, that's all fiberglass, but that weight does add up. Does it add up to 500 pounds? Well, I didn't measure it, I didn't freaking check, so I don't know exactly. All right, so we are going to have some weight discrepancies. We're probably going to be a little bit heavy on this. The other issue is going to be fitment. All right, so the plan right now is that we are going to still use the 700 R4 that's in the car. There's a company out there that makes an adapter that will bolt onto the back of the 12 valve here, and it provides you with a flywheel for that, so you can use a 700 R4. All right, so that won't be a problem. Someone on the TikTok, I'll post up his name in the comment and everything like that. He said that they tried to put a 12 valve in a Vette before. He didn't say what year, all right, but, and it could have been this year, but he said they had a problem with clearance on the windshield, you know, right up here, which definitely could be a thing. Now, I don't know if he was trying to keep the car intact, because this is kind of a Vette cart, all right, so we could have some clearance problems right here. I'm not exactly positive. We haven't measured it out. We'll deal with that when we run into it. But if need be, we'll notch there as much as we can. And if we've got to run a different windshield or a freaking piece of plexiglass or something like that, we'll do that, all right? But the thing is, we're going to get the motor in there, transmission, everything like that, be good to go. Now, the 700 R4 in this, the clutches are currently burnt out of it. Like, it goes around in first and second, but drive is freaking pretty much lost its gusto. I took it out for a spin the other day. But that's okay, because it needs to be rebuilt anyway. So I mean, the 700 R4 in the stock configuration is only meant to hold up to 400 foot-pounds of torque. The Cummins here, and its stock configuration, puts out 400 foot-pounds of torque. All right, so when we're gonna turn this thing up a little bit, we're not gonna dial it up to a 10, but she's gonna get dialed up, you know, just a tad bit, you know. You know, she's gonna be throaty. All right. So we're gonna need the transmission here probably to be operating at like a, I don't know, right now like a 600, maybe 700 foot-pounds of torque. All right, so we're gonna have to have that thing rebuilt anyways, get it all beefed up to get it back in there. And the whole reason that we're using the 700 R4 is because it fits into this configuration. We can use the stock freaking transmission mounts and everything like that. The Dodge transmissions they put behind the Cummins, it is a really long and it's a lot bulkier, so we're gonna run into tunnel issues. So I'm trying to mitigate having to completely cut out the whole tunnel and everything like that. All right, we're trying to do this as cheap, cost effective, and with as little modifications. I can't even say that with a straight face. Anyways, we're trying to do it without chopping the car. Well, we're gonna be chopping it the whole year. Anyways, whatever. I'm just going this way because it's going to be easier. That's the only reason, okay? I don't care how much I got to chop. I want to make it as easy for me as possible, all right? I don't want to be spending years and years fabricating a car together. I want to just stick a motor in there and freaking vroom, here we go. We go have fun, okay? So anyways, at this point, Seth and I are going to get at it. We got to build a gantry crane, get that thing together, okay? All right, guys, so got the instructions out, looking through it, got all my freaking bolts and nuts here and washers out. Now I separated them all into, it looks like there's 5 different categories. That way, when the book calls for whatever size and length, whatever, I can come over and grab it, you know, relatively easy. Make sure that they're all there and accounted for, how many it's supposed to say. Seth right now is getting the top bar unpackaged, and we're gonna start assembly on this thing. All right, so we got the top assembled. We've got our legs assembled now. Now we need to connect the legs, or the rollers, I guess. I don't know, these are the legs, I guess. Those are the base. Okay, we've got the base assembled. We need to attach it to the legs. And to do that, it says that we need to stick it up on some A-frames so that we can bolt them onto it. Now, I don't have any A-frames that are tall enough, but I do have the lift. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna raise the lift, flop this over, put it on the lift so that it's high enough, all right? I don't know how much the other camera caught that, but that was pretty stupid. Okay. Metal bends like spaghetti a lot more than I was thinking it was going to. It's an I-beam. I should have known better than this. You're putting a lot of leverage on it. That was stupid. You know, torque and gravity definitely played a factor in this that I was not calculating on. Okay. So yeah, don't do what I just did. All right. Anyways, we got the cart up here. We got one leg. Oh yeah, this thing's pretty much as wide as the lift. So my idea didn't pan out either. So anyways, we're getting her figured out and getting her done. All right. The legs on. Now we need to lift this thing up. We'll attach those posts. They'll go from like this point down to that point there, so on and so forth. That way it shores it all up. All right. Want to make sure also be watching these things. Like we thought that we had got this one in, but with our adjustments and everything like that, doing just some side adjustments, it had actually popped out and then it was on the outside of this, so we had to undo that. But we're gonna flip it up now, get it all put back together. All right, so we lifted it up and we're getting ready to flop it up on over. All right, my worry is that we're gonna get to that point where it kind of cantilevers and gravity's gonna take over and want to whip it really hard, and then we can go and freaking flop that way. And since we don't have the like A-frame supports in, or the whatever cross supports in, that's why we the metals, you know, can still be flimsy, as we saw it flex earlier. So we're gonna put these in right now to, you know, stiffen it up before we flip it up the rest of the way. All right,
stabilizing in the top end.
Yep, stabilizing the top end. All right, it's been a struggle. This thing is heavy, and just the two of us. Melissa just came out to give us a hand because we're finally at the tipping point, all right? So let me show you what's going on. We've used the lift. We've got it up to this point, all right? And it's now ready to, you know, go a little bit over. So we're gonna have Melissa on one side, hold onto the strap so that when we tip it over, it can't come back this way as any farther. Seth's gonna be on this strap to help me tip it back this way. And I'm gonna be over here on the leg trying to, you know, to help push it as well, all right? So that's the game plan, guys, okay? Hopefully, let's do this without getting hurt. That's the goal. That's the end game goal. All right, guys, we got it done, man. I mean, look at that. We got the whole rolling assembly on there. We got the hoist on it, man. I mean, whew, it is all right. Now this is one of those universal ones they had at Harbor Freight, and so we had to take it down multiple times, get the washers there lined up so that it was actually centered and on the humdinger there properly, and then get the hoist on there and run the chain up and down, man. But there we go, man. We got a mobile unit just ready to go. We spent about, I don't know, maybe 4 hours putting this together, trying to figure it out and everything like that. You guys want to get one of these? You know, let me play around with it a little bit more and give you a proper review on it so far. You know, I mean, we did raise it up. You can see already, you can pull these pins out right here, raise it up taller than we did. We went up to about the 4th hole. You end up cranking it up with these humdingers right here. Now, that side over there, man, I think something sheared off inside of it. I'm gonna have to pull this top off this unit and take a look, because you go to crank this one and then it just starts slipping on itself. It was pulling up, so I'm not sure what's up there with that, but go ahead and comment down below what you think about this this build here, and we're gonna have to come up with a name. All right, I mean, I was thinking about it on the way home, and I can tell you right now, all I can come up with is like Cummins or Cum Cart, and apparently I watched too much Bang Bus in my earlier years. Please, someone do it better than that, you know. All right, y'all have a good one. We'll talk to you later.